All right. Well, yeah. So, uh, I had two extraordinary mentors and advisors in my lifetime. Actually, three, but two that I'll talk about. One is Anthony Cerami. Anthony Cerami headed what was called the Laboratory of Medical Biochemistry at Rockefeller University. So I did my combined MD and PhD in New York City at Weill Cornell Medical School, Medical College for the MD part, and what used to be called the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research, now Rockefeller University, for the PhD part. And Anthony Cerami, headed the Laboratory of Medical Biochemistry. But it was a really cool laboratory in the sense that he really wanted to work on solving the underlying biochemical defects to big health problems. And that was the focus. It was the disease. So he had one part of his lab working on diabetes. He was instrumental in discovering hemoglobin A1C, of course, and part of the lab working on cancer metabolism and the problem of wasting with disease and cancer, a problem called cachexia. But he also had a component devoted to parasitic diseases, with some support from the Rockefeller Foundation. And that's what I was interested in. And what was great about Tony was he gave me the intellectual freedom to do a brand new project to develop a vaccine for hookworm infection. So I was one of the first to apply what was then the new science of molecular biology in the late 1970s, early 1980s to the problem of hookworm disease, and that was just an amazing experience. And the studies that I embarked on then, now 40 years later, have led to a hookworm vaccine that we've shown strong evidence for protects in clinical trials at very high levels. So that's what it took, about 40 years of work. But that's my start as an MD PhD student in Tony's lab that let me do that. And along the way, we made a low cost COVID vaccine that reached 100 million people. So Tony was amazing. He used to meet me on Friday mornings for breakfast, and we would explore new ideas and look at different diseases. And we were kind of educating each other because my interest and expertise was in parasites. He was willing to move into that area. He was an intellectual adventurer, and we would talk about different diseases. And thus, we decided to move forward on a hookworm anemia vaccine targeting the blood feeding apparatus of the worm. Tony had a lot of interest in blood from his work on hemoglobin A1C, and he was someone that instilled a lot of confidence in me. Also taught me how to conduct myself as a scientist and as someone who was representing science in terms of how one carried yourself, and that kind of self-confidence gave me the courage also to start standing up to all the anti-vaccine activists. Another really important mentor in my life was a man named Frank Richards, who was born in Germany. Actually, his original name was Sussman, and the family changed it when they moved to London, I believe, shortly before World War II to escape Nazism. And then he was educated at Cambridge University, and then got his medical degree, and then came to Mass General Hospital, and then Yale, where he became a part of a group of professors to stimulate research in the Department of Medicine at Yale. And he also, gave me that intellectual freedom to work in a molecular parasitology lab first as an undergraduate. And that was my first major experience in a laboratory. But then, uh, uh, after I finished my MD PhD, I came back to his lab after residency to continue working with him as a postdoc and then as a faculty member at Yale. So, also somebody very important in my life. And his wife Martine Armstrong is still alive. Frank passed away around 15 years ago, and but still someone I think about a lot when I hear myself speaking, or I said, "Oh, that's something Frank would say," or even when I'm writing. Both Cerami and Richards had outstanding written and oral communication skills, and that taught me how that was something important to do, and it's one of the reasons I started writing books as well.